Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to answer some of your questions. On my Instagram stories earlier this week, I asked for you to send me questions in that you would love answers to. So I'm going to go ahead and answer them now in this video. I have the questions on my phone and they're in random order. I haven't really looked at them and I'm just going to dive in. But I really like doing videos like this, so if there's any other questions you want to ask me, put them in the comments of this video and I will do another Q&A video sometime in the near future. And these questions can be anything. It can be personal, it can be related to spiritual growth, personal development, anything about my life. Anything's welcome. So let's go ahead and dive in today's Q&A video. So the first question is, how do you constantly love yourself? So this is a practice, right? Anything that we want to constantly and consistently do involves us to practice it. So how do you constantly love yourself is you practice it. You make it a priority to love yourself. And what does that mean to you? What would that feel like to you if you loved yourself? Would that mean that you would be nicer to yourself? You would be kinder to yourself? You would tell yourself the things you actually wanted to hear? And all you have to do is then be consistent and practice it daily, not when you're just feeling good, not just when things are going good. It's in those moments when you're feeling bad, things aren't going good, you practice it no matter what. Loving yourself is a commitment. So just like you commit to love somebody else when you marry them, through the thick and the thin, that's the same thing that holds true for you. Loving yourself is a commitment. If you don't make that commitment first, then it's going to be very, very hard to stay consistent and constant with it. So again, make it a practice, make it a habit, create some self-love habits. So I have a video somewhere right here that you can watch that's 5 self-love habits or something like that, and you can go take some inspiration from that video. So next question is, when did you realize your calling for being a coach and helping people? So I've always known since I was a little girl that I wanted to help people. I love people and I love helping people. Like that is literally my highest excitement, my highest passion. And I necessarily didn't know that my calling was a coach. I don't think my calling is a coach. It's just one of the ways it has manifested in my life currently. In my early 20s, I went through my own spiritual awakening, and that awakened me to the truth of myself, the truth of reality. It awakened me to quantum physics and manifesting and metaphysics and law of attraction and mindfulness and understanding our thought, emotion, body-mind connection. And I just became so lit up by all of this because for the first time, this made sense to me. Like nothing made sense to me, and I always was a deep thinker and a curious person, and I always knew that there was something else to this thing called life. So the curiosity was always there. And so when I had my spiritual awakening, I knew right then and there, this is the one thing that I love doing and I cannot turn it off. So it's been 8 years now since that has happened, and there is not a single day that goes by where I don't do something to evolve myself and grow and expand into more of who I really am. It's like it's part of who I am. So your calling, so if you're looking for your calling or for your purpose, it's going to have to do with the thing that you are most excited about, the thing that you're most passionate about, and the thing that you also has caused you also a lot of suffering and a lot of pain and a lot of struggle and a lot of challenge. I'm a firm believer in that your mess is your message. So what is the thing that you struggle with? What is the thing that when you think about it, like irks you and you get fired up and you get really heated? That is your calling. What is the thing that makes you feel excited? That is your calling. What is the change you want to see in the world? That is your calling. And the change you want to see in the world, how can you first embody it in your own life? And then as you live it, breathe it, it will naturally become an extension of you. So I started by working on myself, healing my wounds, healing my traumas, healing my pains. And as I did that, I knew that my work had to be an extension of me. And so naturally it evolved into wanting to help other people heal their wounds, heal their traumas, help them feel connected to themselves and understand their inner world better. So that's kind of how this all unfolded for me. And there's another question that's very similar to it that is, what do you have to learn to become a coach? You don't really have to learn anything to become a coach. It's an unregulated field, so it's not like you have to go to school to get a certification or degree. There are certification programs, and I do have a certification. I'm certified as a life coach, and the reason I did that was for my own personal journey, my personal growth. It wasn't because I thought I needed validation. If you need a certification to feel validated, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I wanted to, it was an opportunity for me to even grow even more into who I really am and what I love doing. And so it's an unregulated field, and there's nothing you really need to learn to become a coach. You just have to have a passion to help people, a passion to support people, because you're working intimately with people, and sometimes people are telling you things that they have never told you before. So you have to be someone who's creating a safe and sacred, non-judgmental container for these people. You have to be a good listener. You have to be willing to see and reflect back to the person their blind spots, what they're missing, what they're not seeing, what they're not understanding. So it's a field that it requires you to go from your head and open your heart up and create a sacred container for someone to be held. If you want to learn to become a coach, I say you start working on yourself. You do the inner work on yourself, and you heal your life. You heal your mind. You heal your patterns, your limiting beliefs, your thoughts. And as you do that, you'll naturally want to help and support other people in the process, because you know what it's like to have a transformation of becoming someone that you're not really happy with, but you start to align and shed and peel back the truth of who you really are. And as you embody that, you'll be equipped with tools and techniques and your own realization and your own understanding to naturally just want to help people. It's just a natural progression, a natural process. So everybody who's a coach, they will tell you that they started by working on themselves, working on doing their inner work, and as they started healing and understanding who they really are, it naturally was an extension of wanting to help other people through the process and be like, oh my God, life can be so different. You can feel so different about yourself. You can do whatever you want and have whatever you want. All right. The next question is, how did you end up in Colorado? So this is a really, really funny story. I used to live in Chicago 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. And at the time, I was really, really over living in the city. Like, as I had my spiritual awakening, I became more gravitated towards being in nature and being in a peaceful, calmer environment. And I knew I was done with city life. And I was really asking the universe, like, I'm ready to leave. I don't want to live here anymore. I need some place where I can really connect with the earth, connect with nature, and a place where I felt like I was nurtured. And I was sitting on the couch one day in my apartment, and literally my intuition told me, you're going to Colorado. And I laughed out loud, because Colorado was like not even anywhere remotely in my awareness of a place that I would want to live. And lo and behold, 3 months later, I was moving to Colorado. So you have to follow those intuitive hits, and those intuitive hits kind of come out of left field. They make no sense, but lean into the curiosity of what it's saying, and if you follow it, it will always lead you to where you want to go. So that's literally how I ended up in Colorado. My intuition told me to go, and I said yes. I listened, I ended up, and it was the best decision ever, and I'm so grateful that I live here. So I'm going to answer one more question. What's the best way to harness the energy to support a depressed friend? That's a really good question. So the best way to do that is to, first of all, understand that your friend is in a experience of herself that is so out of alignment with the truth of her being. And I like to say depression is like wearing glasses and wondering why it's dark. Because as someone who's had depression, that's what depression feels like. Gloomy and dark and heavy. And all you really have to do is learn how to take those glasses off, because the light is always there. So if you have a friend who's going through something like this, all you can really do is hold sacred space for her. Be very nurturing, be very kind. Don't tell her that she shouldn't be depressed, because a depressed person does not want to hear that. They're not available to hear that. Instead of sympathize with her, connect with her pain, connect with her challenge. Hold space and be like, I understand what you're going through, even if you don't, but somehow try to put yourself in their shoes and create this space of compassion for them, so they feel understood, they feel heard, they feel seen. Because someone who's depressed, oftentimes they don't feel understood, they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they don't feel important. And so if you allow your friend to be who she is in that moment, in that experience, and not try to tell her that she needs to be someone different or something different or feel different, and just make her feel seen and heard and important, and that her pain, her challenge, her struggle is very real for her, and not denying it. What you can do is then she'll start to feel comfortable to then open up to you about why it's challenging, how she's feeling, and you're going to create this beautiful compassionate space for her. And the other thing that I would suggest is just pray for her. Like, sit down and just send her positive love and light. Close your eyes, tap into your heart chakra, imagine it opening, and imagine your friend in front of you, and send all this love and light from your heart to her heart, and just tell her that, like, she's loved, she's important, she matters, and that you're here for her. And energetically, her soul will hear this. So you're energetically connecting with her higher self, her soul, who will then commune this and connect this to her. So that's the best way to help somebody out. And remember that we can't change people unless they're willing to change. So I hope that helps you. Those are all the questions that I have today. If you want me to do another Q&A video, which I really want to, and there's questions you want to ask me for a future video, please put them in the comments of this video and I will answer them in my next Q&A video. And remember, wherever you are in the world, have the day you want to have. Stay open. All my love.